Hello everyone, this is Evan, and today guys, I just wanted to do a quick little season review. I'm just going to go over the tournaments I played this season, how I did, and how my first season as a master actually ended up. Um, yeah, so as you guys might know, I barely missed the World's Invite. I got 685 points, and I'm pretty sure the last guy in the top 125 had 700, so I was like 15 points short, which overall was very it was kind of sad to um just like put in so much practice this season and come so close yet so far. But I'm just gonna go over the season and yeah, I'll just go over how I did this season. Um and yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm just gonna get right into it. So for the cups and challenges, there were a best finish limit of 4 of these. You can only count your 4 best finishes. So if you're trying to get top 125, you basically needed to get 4 wins in each of the categories. So for my challenges, I actually started off the season not getting a challenge win, and then the next 3 challenges I played, I won all 3 of the next ones. So I had 3 challenge wins like very early in the season. Um, well, not like very early. I wasn't going to challenges that frequently. Um, yeah, I wasn't going to them that much because I was mostly focusing on cups since those are more important at the beginning of the season. So I had the first 3 challenges by like November. Um, and then my last challenge, I could not get the last win. Every challenge. So I will say I really am not a big fan of challenges. I feel like they require more luck than skill, to be honest, because it's normally like 3 to 4 rounds, and that's not too hard to win all of them. But also, if you just have like one game where you get a bad matchup or you brick or whatever, you can only lose one game, or you can't lose any games to luck. So if you just lose one game to luck, then basically the whole tournament is over for you. So like it's not that big of a deal since challenges, like, there's a lot of them, but it was kind of annoying just having to keep going to them. I had like 8 or 9 in a row where I was getting like second and third because every time I would have one game where I either bricked or hit a bad matchup. I think like one time I also misplayed once, but I could not get the last win. And finally, after like the 8th or ninth time of bricking in the finals, my opponent just actually gave me the win. So um, yeah, the challenges were kind of annoying, but nothing too bad. Um, and then for the cups, I had a rough start to the season with the cups. I really just, I don't know, I don't think I was that good at the beginning of the season. Like, I still have a lot to improve, but I feel like at the beginning of the season I was really not very good at the game. But it took me a while to actually get a cup win. It was the Baltimore Cup, where I whiffed day 2, so I just played the Cup Sunday, and I managed to win with Ancient Box. Then, like 2 weeks after Baltimore, actually no, it was like later on, like after Louisville, I won another Cup with Ancient Box. Um, then I went a while without seeing another Cup win, and about like February or March, I managed to go to a few Cups with Pidgeot Control, and I won one of them, and then my last one was with Lost Box, which I actually won 2 with Lost Box, but um, yeah, so those were the Cup wins. And then for the regionals and ICs, I have them right here. Uh, these are my best 5, and I had to replace my worst finish, which was Atlanta. Um, yeah, but those are my best 5, and I actually have all of them pulled up right here, so I'm just gonna go over them individually. Um, but yeah, so starting off with the majors, my season started off in Baltimore, and yeah, I decided to play Ancient Box for Baltimore. Not entirely sure why I picked this deck. I think I just thought it was like a good call, and I always liked the kind of one prize attacking decks because they tend to be able to trade pretty well into the rest of the format if you're just attacking with a one prizer every turn. So, um, yeah, this was the list I played, and this is kind of an interesting list here. Um, yeah, this was just pretty interesting list. Um, Yeah, so I played the Cobalion, which was this and the Picnic Basket were like the two main tech cards I played. The Cobalion was for the Charizard matchup because Charizard was like the only bad matchup for the deck, really, or like the only bad matchup near the top. And I felt like Cobalion made the matchup a lot closer to even. And then Picnic Basket was for the Regidrago matchup, which I actually was kind of struggling with in testing, I remember. But the Picnic Basket really helped a lot because if you could find that after they spread damage around, you could heal everything and kind of just stop their Kyurem lines. But overall, the deck, it was fine. Like, it was kind of inconsistent at times. And I feel like what kind of got me with the deck list, I only played 6 energies, and then also I had no out to any sort of retreat locking strategies. And I ended up hitting, if this will load, I ended up hitting a couple Pidgeot controls, and I managed to beat both of them somehow. The first one, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think that he bricked game 1, and then he did something in game 2 to get a double prize loss. But I was just able to never bench anything that could get trapped. And then after that, this was definitely one of the tournaments where I could have done better if I played better, because round 2, I like hard through against Raging Bolt. I should have won, but I tied, because I remember I had like I was in like a great position, and I had like an energy on Flutter Mane for some reason, and the rest of my board was like 2 Roaring Moons that were charged up entirely with 2 energies, and then Radiant Greninja, and I forgot to promote the Flutter Mane and retreat the energy, so he actually just gusted my Greninja, and one of my last 2 prizes was the other Dark Energy, so I definitely could have won if I had not misplayed there. And then the next round against Ancient Box, I remember just having, like, the Ancient Box mirror was basically entirely luck-based. It was whoever attacked first, basically. And we made a Gentleman's, and after the 3 turns, we were tied on prizes, so still tied there. And then I lost round 4 because I double bricked against Moon. And this was like the hardest regional, because you had to go 7-2 rather than 6-2-1, which is normally the case. But they had changed it at the beginning of the season and then changed it back later, so I was already out of day 2 by round 4, which I mean, yeah, after that I just kept playing for points, and then I lost the 9th round to Ancient Box Mirror again, so I finished 5-2-2. So the next the next regional was Louisville, which was like, I think this was like a month after, right? Yeah, so September 13th and then October 11th, so like right around a month after. I just played Ancient Box again. I had been grinding it with Cups for the month between the 2, and I will say I don't think Ancient Box was a very good play for the event, because if we look at the metagame, like, I don't know why, but I was expecting Charizard to be much more popular than this. Like, I expected it to be like 10%. So me and like one other person worked on the list together, and we both played the same 60, and neither of us even hit a Charizard, but we had teched pretty hard for the matchup. Yeah, we had teched pretty hard with the 2 Cornerstone Mask Ogrepons, because that, in theory, could fix the Zard matchup, because we were playing 4 Great Tusks, so we would just try to start milling them, and then just eventually go in with the 2 Cornerstones and deny them from taking all of their prize cards. And then I did not even hit a single Cornerstone. Yeah, I remember the tournament started off well. Like, I remember we had a lot of really rough matchups. Like, we originally thought this deck was a very good play for the tournament, and then, like, a couple of days before, I started doubting the deck. Like, I was like, you know what, this deck seems to just have much worse matchups than I initially thought it did, but it was too late to learn anything, or to, like, feel great about picking up a new deck and learning it, so I just stuck with it anyways. Probably should have changed to something else. I remember, like, some people were telling me to switch to Lugia, and I probably should have. That probably would have been the better option, but it started okay with 2-0, and then I hit Snorlax, which this matchup was actually kind of bad for this list, because we only played 3 Flutter Manes, so it's very hard to, like, bench lock. So you basically just have to hope that they don't get too lucky with their flutes and just discard everything. And that worked for 1 game, but we ended up tying. And then I had a Lugia the next round where I double bricked. Not much you can do there. I beat a Palkia, then I hit Nick Moffat on Regidrago, and I remember he just like drew, like he played very well, but he also like drew incredibly well, and I don't think I drew that bad, but I don't know, I think I just couldn't really keep up. And then I won the next two, so I finished 5-2-1, and once again, this would be day 2 under the new system after they changed it. They changed it like literally 2 weeks after Louisville. So I would have made day 2, but of course for this tournament it was 6-2 instead of 5-2-1. So kind of annoying they changed it like right after, but it's kind of just whatever. Then the third regional of the season was Toronto. So I considered playing Ancient Box again. I feel like Ancient Box was actually not the worst play for this tournament. But I don't know, I didn't really feel like dodging all the Charizard because if I remember correctly, Charizard was like very popular this tournament, and I didn't really want to dodge that. Also, I think a fair bit of the Raging Bolt players were playing Briar, which made that matchup a lot harder, and yeah, I think that the meta was just overall kind of harsh for Ancient Box, so I didn't really want to play it again. My other option was Lost Box, and Lost Box was kind of just a matchup roulette, because if you dodge the Regidragos and hit everything else, like, you have a great matchup into everything but the Regidrago. But I didn't know if I felt confident dodging Regidrago. I ended up just going with Snorlax, actually, which I don't know if this was the best play for the tournament. I felt like the Regidrago and the Charizard matchups were both kind of sketchy, but somehow I managed to dodge both of them. Like, Charizard was fine, but Regidrago was probably like 50-50. And I will say this list for Snorlax, I think this was like the optimal Snorlax list for the tournament. This list felt incredibly good. Like, so many of the list for Snorlax for this tournament were just trying to do too much, I think. They were just trying to fit in too many tech cards and all of that. And I originally was playing one of those builds. I was playing like Jubilife. I was playing like a Jubilife build, which ended up just being too inconsistent. I played it to like a cup the week before, got second, and after doing more testing with it, I just really didn't like where the consistency was with it, so I ended up switching to the Pokestop build like 2 days before the tournament. And I didn't even play that many games with this exact list, but it was definitely the correct move because this list felt very good. It was very consistent overall. I just maxed out all the consistency cards, still played some tech cards, like I played the 2 vacuums. The reason I played the vacuums over Klefki's, I had considered the Klefki's, and that's what most people played in the Pokestop Lax list. However, the vacuums were slightly worse against Cloth, but they were better into everything else because you can use it to get 2 Pokestops in one turn. And the tournament went fine for me. I started 5-0, hit a Roaring Moon, which is an auto loss because of the Petrarunt. Then I won the next one. Round 8, my opponent offered the ID, and I don't know, I kind of just wanted to make day 2 for the first time in Masters, which I probably should have played it out, but he also told me before the match started that he was playing Zard with Canceling Cologne, which I felt like the matchup was pretty close. Looking back, it was probably favored for me, so I should have played it out, but I just took the ID just to lock in my spot for day 2, and then I hit Reagan in the win-in, or not the win-in, round 9, because yeah, I just wanted to win this one to get a better spot into going into day 2, and I got very close to winning him, even though Lugia was basically an auto loss. So I remember game 1, I like, he bench locked, got everything he needed. I couldn't win, so I scooped it up. Game 2, I hit Squawkabilly pretty early off the flutes, and I just trapped that over and over, and I won. And then game 3, I believe his board state was like 1 Archeops, 1 Lugia V-Star, 1 Minccino, and then he had like Raikou, Weirder, Blood Moon, I think. So there was basically nothing I could trap, and he had already taken 1 prize card, I'm pretty sure. So I ended up just going into Lone Cornerstone, and if his 1 Cinccino was prized, I would win the game, and it was not. So I ended up losing that one, and then, so yeah, I went from 5-0 to 6-2-1, which felt kind of bad, but I'm still in day 2. So going into day 2, I won the first 3, and then the last round, I ended up getting donked and then flipping 4 tails in a row in game 3. to lose the game. I needed 1 heads off of one of my two Silenes to win, and they both flipped double tails. Although, I could have arguably gone for a better play the game I got donked, because I had started 1 Snorlax, and I had nothing in my hand that was playable except for Trekking Shoes, and I Trekking Shoesed into Miracle Headset and ended up just taking the headset and passing. The idea being I could either discard it and hope to maybe get lucky and find something that can get me into a basic so I don't get donked, or I can take the headset and hope that he misses the donk, because if I discard it and he misses the donk anyways, I have a good chance of just losing because I wouldn't be able to loot my Silenes late game. So I just decided to risk taking the quick loss, which ended up being the case. He donked me. However, I looked after the match and the next card was Nestball, so probably was correct given that information, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think I made the correct call there or not. But yeah, very unfortunate flipping the 4 tails in game 3. Yeah, so at this point, I have been to 3 regionals and only day 2'd one of them. So this was in December that I went to Toronto, so I was not going to be going to another regional for quite some time. None of them really fit into my schedule, so the next regional was actually going to be my hometown regional of Atlanta. So I actually did a ton of preparing. This was like 4 months later. So lots of time to prepare. I really tried to improve my skills between Toronto and Atlanta. I did like a lot of preparing, played a lot of League Cups and stuff. And I was just very disappointed after this tournament. This was my worst regional of the season. I went 5-3-1, and I don't know, I put like a lot of time into this tournament. I played Goldango, and my testing group did not, most of them did not like the idea of this list, but it was a 4 Klefki list because so many decks were playing Fan Rotom, and the Fan Rotom decks were like the harder matchups, so just starting Klefki kind of just made those matchups a lot better. And I also played Ceruledge Briar to help against, well, first of all, Cornerstone was like super popular this tournament, so you needed some answer. And Ceruledge plus Briar also gave us a better chance into Mirror and Goldango. Or, sorry, Mirror and Raging Bolt. But overall, the list just felt inconsistent throughout the tournament, and I do have to say this list is not as consistent as my NAIC list, which you guys will see soon, but it felt kind of bad. I remember game 1, I bricked twice. Game 2, I basically bricked twice, so I had to make, so after double bricking 2 rounds in a row, I had to make a comeback. So I won the next 5. Yeah, like I remember round 3, I thought for the first time I was about to go 0-3 drop at a regional, because game 1, I opened 1 Gimmighoul and said, please do not be Poison Arch, because if this is Poison Arch, I'm going second, I have 1 basic, I'm gonna get donked, and then he was playing Poison Arch, and he donked me. So I thought for the first time I was gonna go 0-3 drop, so I had to win the next 2 of this set, and after finally getting a win, I was 1-2, so I was feeling a bit better, and I just had to make a comeback here. So I won the next 5, I played against Cal Connor in round 8, and if I won this one, I was planning on just offering the ID round 9, because I just needed the safe points. But I hit Cal Connor. Game 1, I beat him. I just drew well, and yeah, the matchup was pretty close, but I drew well. And then game 2, I prized like 4 energies, so there was basically nothing I could do. And then the last round, I hit Polt Frostlass, which was one of the worst matchups I could have asked for, although I don't think the matchup was that bad. But what happened was he basically started with like 2 Dreepies and 2 Monkeys, so I assumed he was just playing Slowpolt with no Frostlass, just like 2 Monkeys. So I actually ended up evolving into all 4 of my Goldangos, and then he put down the Frostlass, which I did not expect at all for the Frostlass to be in the deck. But that basically, like, I basically just got punished super hard for putting all the Goldangos down, which would be correct for sure in the Slowpolt matchup, but definitely not in the Frostlass matchup. So just, I don't know, I just ended up getting cooked there. I played it out because the only way I could win was if he prized Devo, and of course the Devo was not prized. So I ended up just getting my whole board devoed very early on, which was unfortunate, but it's just whatever. So I lost the win-in at Atlanta. Top 5-12, which was not very good, but yeah, my next regional was Portland. About this was like a month after, right? Yeah, like a little over a month after Atlanta. But it felt like ages because I get kind of bored if there's no regionals to test for. So after Atlanta, I just started going right into Portland testing, and a couple weeks before Portland, I decided Zorwark was a good play, and then I absolutely got cooked the day before when I was doing some testing. Like I think I went like 1-8 or something while doing testing the day before. So I was like, great, this is probably going to be another regional where I do bad. But somehow I managed to actually get kind of lucky at Portland. Um, yeah, I started 2-0 hitting Gardevoir and Polt, which were both like fine matchups. Basically the matchups I was expecting. I lost to a Hydreigon round 3. I think the matchup's fine, but I drew terribly both games. And then I tied to a Bolt, won against a Flareon, which was actually like the worst matchup, but I just got kind of lucky there. Tied against Pidgeot Control. I should have lost, but my opponent threw big time. Go watch the Portland tournament report if you want to know like all the details, but he threw pretty hard. And then I had the weird situation that I explained in the tournament report that allowed me to win this one and then just get down paired in the last round, and my opponent scooped. And then in day 2, I kind of cooked myself at the beginning. I should have played faster, but I tied against Terrabox, which was like a fine matchup. But I won the next 3 for top 32. I bubbled out at 33rd, and then someone got disqualified. So I ended up getting my first actually really good result at a regional. Or not really good, but like the first decent result, I guess. And I was kind of happy with the top 32. But I still had NAIC, which was only a few weeks after to prepare for. I considered playing Zorwark again, but I knew the deck was just not going to be a great call for the event because Shaman kind of makes the Polt and Gardevoir matchups awful. But then the Zorwark actually ended up getting top 8 at NAIC, so maybe it was a fine play. But I just decided to play Goldango again. I was hesitant to lock it in after my worst regional of the season at Atlanta was Goldango. But I decided to just play it again. Yeah, and here was the list. My philosophy with this list was, I just need a safe result. I'm going to max out consistency so that I can get that safe result and decrease the amount of games I just brick. So, this was the list. I was playing no Dracloakline, no Pidgeot, none of that nonsense, because I didn't think you really needed an extra engine, because this list was just it's playing 4 ciphers in 3 gears, so you're just trying to cipher every single turn to find the exact 2 you need, and then coin bonus into them. So, just a no-nonsense list, just very consistent. And then I did play a few tech cards. I played the Picnic Basket, which helped against the damage-spreading decks like Grimmsnarl, Gardevoir, Polt, etc. And then I played League HQ because I was expecting Joltik Box to be like 10%. I figured Joltik Box was a bad call for the event, but I knew that people would still play it. And I just wanted to tech for it because that matchup was bad. Otherwise, I started 2-0, lost twice, and then had to make a comeback. I won the next 3, tied, and then my last round I hit Flareon, which was like an auto loss. But my opponent did not play Briar, so I ended up winning the win-in. So I'm 6-2-1 going into day 2. I tied to Nick Moffat, which was the second time I played him this season. I played him at Louisville as well. But I tied to him, won the next 2, and then lost the last round to Jack Moore. And I would have gotten top 64 if I had won this round, but I didn't. And I whiffed the invite. So yeah, that's basically how the season ended for me. I got just barely off of the invite because with auto invites and everything, I'm pretty sure that number 139, this was the last player who got the invite at number 125 because there were 14 auto invites, so those did not count. So this was number 125, and I'm down here. So very, very close, and I ended up whiffing. So overall, what can we take away from this tournament? I will say a lot throughout the tournament, I got frustrated with having tournaments that seemed like I had very bad variants, like the 4 tails flips in a row at Toronto, and then just bricking a lot at Atlanta, and then hitting Holt Frostlass and the winning in, and then, you know, like, just so many things that I felt like, you know, like, even at Atlanta, or NAIC, I didn't draw well in the last round, but overall, I think there were so many things that I got frustrated, basically blaming luck for, and after the season ended, I'm kind of realizing now there are dozens of things I could blame for my season, like not exactly getting the results I wanted. There's so many things I can blame for that, but at the end of the day, it's my fault that I did not do as well as I would have liked, and I just need to, you know, learn from this experience, and next season, I need to, yeah, I need to learn from this and step up my preparations, and hopefully next season it goes much better. But I will say next season is the season I plan on trying to become one of the best in the world. I tried this season, didn't quite get there, but next season I'm going to be stepping up my preparations, and I'm going to be, you know, grinding Pokemon every single day, preparing for these majors, and if all goes according to plan, I'm hoping that I can get, you know, consistent top 64s, top 32s, and hopefully get some top 8s, and potentially even better than that. But yeah, I'm just going to, you know, do all I can, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I feel like this season, just to reflect on it, I think I could have potentially done better, but I didn't. I just wasn't, I don't know, I feel like I was just inexperienced, and I just need to learn from that from now on. But yeah, let me know in the comments how your season went. Thank you guys for watching, if you made it all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys